around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle, and above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752 418 014 or head over to our Facebook page.
At P-Town Radio, we can advertise your business on a small cost. For more information, contact us on email info@ptownradio.co.uk.
Are you caring? Are you a team player and passionate about helping others? Here at Indiana Healthcare Services, we are looking for a healthcare assistant and nurse to work in and around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle, and above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752 418 014 or head over to our Facebook page.
At P-Town Radio, we can advertise your business on a small cost. For more information, contact us on email info@ptownradio.co.uk.
Yes. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show. Tendai, Madume here as usual on a Friday. I am here. Looking forward to this conversation. Good to have you here on the P-Town Radio. If you're just joining me right now, I can hear a bit of a background play. I'm not sure if
At P-Town Radio, we can advertise your business on a small cost. For more information, contact us on email info@ptownradio.co.uk.
Are you caring? Are you a team player and passionate about helping others? Here at Indiana Healthcare Services, we are looking for a healthcare assistant and nurse to work in and around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle, and above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752 418 014 or head over to our Facebook page.
Yes, welcome to the show. Tendai, Madume, Butera on a business talk on a Friday. How are you doing? It's good to see everybody coming in. If you're just joining us, please head over to our Facebook page, Facebook channels, and also we are available on YouTube at P-Town Radio YouTube channel, and also GBI Radio as YouTube channel as well. Wow, something is not going right here. I'm hearing a sound that I can't work out. If you are joined in right now on us on our Facebook page, let us know if you can hear background sound coming out from somewhere where I don't know where. Let me do a test. I'll be right back for right.
Are you caring? Are you a team player and passionate about helping others? Here at Indiana Healthcare Services, we are looking for a healthcare assistant and nurse to work in and around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle, and above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752 418 014 or head over to our Facebook page. Are you caring? Are you a team player and passionate about helping others? Here at Indiana Healthcare Services, we are looking for a healthcare assistant and nurse to work in and around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle, and above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752 418 014 or head over to our Facebook page. Are you caring? Are you a team player and passionate about helping others? Here at Indiana Healthcare Services, we are looking for a healthcare assistant and nurse to work in and around Devon and Cornwall. Why work for Indiana? We make sure you work when you want to work, hours that suit your lifestyle. And above all, we provide in-house training and competitive rates of pay. Pick up the phone and call us now on 01752 418 014 or head over to our Facebook page.
Yes, thank you very much. Sorry about that. We are back now live with a packed information here at P-Town Radio. Tendai, Madume, Jabo, Butera, business talk. But listen, before I tell you, there's a guest in the building. But before we do all that, Jabo, I just want to make sure we do all the disclaimers, get them off the way, right? So we make sure when we start rolling the content we have today, it's purely on the disclaimer. So the view and ideas expressed in the following program is brought to you by myself and Jabo Butera and our guests. It's not a review on P-Town Radio as a radio station. So that's our disclaimer. What we're going to discuss here is only purely our ideas and expression. Doesn't really necessarily mean that's what P-Town Radio stands for. Yeah. So we are separating ourselves from P-Town Radio because we're going to talk about Black History Month. Before I do that, Jabo, how are you this afternoon?
Always Friday.
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yes.
Really good.
Yes.
Feeling it. It's a wonderful Friday.
Yep.
Finishing Friday.
Wonderful Friday.
Yes.
That's good. That's good. Of course, on the camera already, Ian is on camera because we're using one camera. Good afternoon, Ian. How are you doing?
Very good. Pleased to be with you.
Yes, we appreciate you here to be here with us because I know I'm going to be learning a lot from you. Last time I missed out, you were here. I was listening from home, and I was, if I take it to Christian, I was blessed with the content you guys shared here on P-Town Radio. So today's show we are talking about last week, Jabo, or is it last week we're here? We missed last week because you were away, Jabo. Let's talk about where you were away, Jabo, for a minute, because I think it's interesting. What were you up to last week? Because you let me down. You let me down last week because without you I can't be here. That's a fact. You will never see me here alone, but you might see Jabo here alone. So you were not here. You missed me last week because you took a trip down to Torbay just to refresh your mind. Exeter.
Yes.
Tell us what happened there.
Thank you so much for that, and thank you for confirming that we work together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I always cover up when you're not here.
I know. That's why we are different. But yeah, we'll leave that for another day.
Now, my brother, was really good, and I'm glad we went down to Exeter, representing DBI and our community as well, ourselves. It was the Exeter award, property award. It's called Exeter Living Award, where they are showcasing the event of what happened in Exeter. So we had Exeter Living Award, and we went down there. It was really amazing. I was with Ian. A room full of really great business people, architects, those in the construction industry. We had everything to do with the properties in Exeter. Yes. But they were covering most of the part of the that end of the southwest. And I've been blessed to be a judge on this award. It was very challenging, but it was really good. So I was a judge on this panel. We gave those awards out. So it was really good. Good meal and good vibe. We met a lot of connections in Exeter. So it was really good.
Yes, so thank you very much. Yes, I didn't get the invite, but I'm not angry about that. So it's okay. I can take it as a big man as I am. Like I said, we've got a guest here in the studio today. So our conversation, I know this is a business talk, but this conversation is surrounding Black History Month. I know my colleague Jabo has been around the city doing some wonderful stuff within the city. I mean, if you want to know what Jabo has been up to, they're not finished yet. It's still happening. There's still a lot of programs going on with the DBI regarding the Black History Month. So this particular show, we are dedicating it to Black History Month conversation. I think we've been saying it since 1 month anyway. being the end of the month, I think this could be our last one.
Yes.
Talking about the Black History Month. So we're going to be uploading what Jabo and his team has been up to. And then we work out exactly. I feel our main topic today, if you're listening, please tell a friend, share this stream right now with your friends. We're going to be finding out exactly the end goal of Black History Month. What is it that is trying to achieve? I'm with our friend here, now becoming my friend too. I know he's trying to take Jabo away from me. Slowly. I can see it happening. But as a big man as I am, I'm going to stand my feet. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to Ian Washington Smith. How are you doing this morning?
Really good. Really good, thank you. Really good.
Yes, how are you? How was your trip to the studio?
Oh, very. I went to an event this morning with Jabo, actually, at the university, and we were talking about networking and careers and helping people move on in life, which is what the mission is, really.
Yes. Thank you very much. It's good to have you here because we're going to be absorbing your data on this program. But before we talk to Ian about that, there's a lot you've been doing within the city regarding the Black History Month. So I want us to kind of tell our people exactly what you're trying to achieve and what you have already achieved so far in terms of the programs, where have you been, what you have done. I know you did one last week or so, which including cooking and stuff like that. Please break it down for our listeners.
Thank you so much for that. And among the celebration and all we do, there's a coffee always in there. So we just shout out. We just receive our wonderful coffee. I was yawning.
Is it
because
before,
coffee?
Is it?
Always.
Is it?
So cheers to all watching as well. Yes, we've been, as usual, this is our 5th edition of running the Black History in Plymouth. And we do that through celebration. They're not just event for the sake of event. These are celebratory event. We spend time together in celebrating because we are known for celebrating. We are known for being nice and embracing our own. People tend to say, oh, we party, black people party. Yes, we do. But that's our culture. We love celebrating. We love being vibrant in that life. We don't do the date. So we've been doing a lot of celebration this month. This is our last week of October coming. So today we had a meeting with an event, not a meeting. We had an event, a celebration with the SU, Student Union at University of Plymouth, with their different society. We were up there, and yesterday we had Health is Wealth with the NHS, and we had some researchers come to talk about breast cancer. We have all this conversation, really serious topic, but in an environment of celebration.
Yes.
So we have the whole calendar. We're coming to the end of this. Even today is another big revelation, because here we are talking about what's next.
Yes.
Where are we going with it?
Yes.
Because we're not doing and stopping by there.
That's
we
correct.
do things for a purpose.
Yes.
One is celebrating ourselves. Quoting Maya Angelou as usual. I rather live in a society where I am celebrated instead of being tolerated.
Yes. That's a big statement.
God.
You always bring that, Jabo, isn't it? Yes. I feel like I'm being celebrated in my city anyway, so
Yes.
I'm okay. So let's talk about Jabo quickly before we move on. Because some of the stuff you did last week, you had some cooking and you had some local chefs around. Tell me who was around. So for the purpose of course, it's a business talk.
Yes.
And we like also to encourage our business people who are in the city, who are doing stuff, and no lesser than the ones that are doing the cooking for us, because without food, some of us, we can't actually survive.
And no one no one will survive without food.
Yes.
That's a common denominator.
Yes.
What is we cook differently.
Yes.
So we've seen that the way of cooking is that external factor that influences the way we cook and what we eat.
So someone who is listening now for the first time, Jabo, what you're going to tell us? How do they get involved? What is it when you go to Plymouth City College?
Yes.
And take over the kitchen?
Yes.
Literally.
So that's the conversation we've been having.
Yes.
Saying first of all, what is the common denominator is eating.
Yes.
And then we have different ways of eating and different ways of cooking. And this comes for what we're talking about, the external factors where you grew up or what your mama taught you. You're sharing your culture with everyone else in an element where we have in common. And then again, we're talking about educational parts, because when I'm sharing my cooking, I'm not just telling you here, eat. No. You are learning how is my food. Your palate is learning my taste. If it's spicy, now your palate is being educated. If it's bland, your palate's been educated. We thought, how can we do this educational part in an education institution and exploring or celebrating our diversity? So we had chefs from a black background. So we had Chef Dom, we had Chef Rita, and we have Chef Jess, who are they cooking from their culture and passion. Dominic Donovan is from a Jamaican background. His dad and granddad are coming from Jamaica background, and the mother, she's from Devon. And he's cooking. He cooked for us last time a dish with a Jamaican touch on it. Rita is from Ghana as well. She cooked from with her Ghanaian origin, and Jess is from Cameroon. But they all live in Plymouth and they have the experience. Now we're sharing the experience with everyone else and pushing on a business element. Most of these individuals used to do that from home. They know how to cook from home when you can cook as a family. But how do we take it to the next level, generating income out of your knowledge? And that's what DBI does.
Yes.
We take your passion, work with you, and turn into an income generator, while as well you're still educating the society you live in to celebrate who you are.
Chai. Huh? When you give Jabo your mic, Jabo doesn't stop, does it? The words of wisdom just start to come out. No, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate your work you're doing at GBI. It is important that we do mention it from time to time and make sure that people are fully aware of what's really going on at GBI. I mean, I was talking about how do we make sure we are reaching out. Me and Ian, we were talking earlier on, going back to the Black History Month as a whole. How do we make sure, Jabo? You've said all these things that you are doing since 1 October, and we are now getting into the climax of it because the month is getting to an end. How do we make sure that it touches the corners of the Southwest? I know we come here, we sing about it. Are you seeing change? I heard you saying you're talking about you're talking about the the 10th edition now?
Yes, this is fifth.
Fifth edition.
Yes.
Of your program in October in Plymouth. And you also mentioned that you're probably the biggest cheerleaders of the Black History Month in the Southwest. Talking about living along Bristol, just talking about all the way, Exeter, Penzance, going down to Penzance. Are you seeing the change? Are you seeing the change in the last 5 years, Jabo?
I am, and it's great. It's great to see it, and it's particularly when you start seeing new people join on board, those who had what they wanted to celebrate and talk about. You are seeing them. We have schools coming along. We have, give shouts to Mayflower Academy. We didn't know them till last year, and this year they've been part of the whole progress. They bring the children from schools, show them around. They bring the teachers themselves. They're running sub-sessions at Mayflower Academy, which is on the other side of town. That is a massive change. You have people from Meta, they're based in Robera, which is far away from where we are here, in the other side of town. They do their own Black history within Meta. If we did not start it, this ripple effect will not be happening. And so we're saying it's really important. And for answering your question, yes, we're seeing a change. Not as fast as we would love to, but we're seeing a change.
So in year one, did you have the mayor and the deputy mayor at an event?
No.
So in year 5, there was the mayor and the deputy mayor at an event, and I was so impressed with their language around difference and the way they talked about inclusion. Because I think when I was growing up, I wouldn't have heard people talk about inclusion in the same way.
Yes. So I'm coming to you, Ian. This is the presence. Give us your background, Ian, because I think we have to paint a picture of it. I know you still look very good looking, handsome young man.
But he can sing as well. He's got a song for us.
But we need to put a context into it. This is the present. Jabo is giving us a breakdown of the Black History Month, which has only been going on now in terms of celebrating for the next 5 years now. It's the 550th edition. But I want you to take it way back. But before you do that, just give us your background, Ian.
Okay, so in my parents came from the West Indies in the 1950s, and I came into the world in the early 1960s, and the world was a very different place then. And I was actually born in Birmingham, and where we lived then, it was a place called Handsworth, which you may have heard of.
Yeah.
But then it was probably 90% white, 7% black, and 2% Asian, something like that. Whereas now, it's the denomination has completely changed. So it's a massive Asian community, big black community, minor white. So in the early 70s, we moved to a place called Handsworth Wood, and Handsworth Wood was 99.9% white, and I have to say that in that area I had a cotton wool upbringing. Everybody was really good to us, etc., etc. And nobody was there. You know, you hear all these stories about how people weren't this and weren't that, but they were great. They were great with us. But when I was 18, I went away to university, and it was interesting that my mum sent me an article that talked about how the white people were receiving these new black people moving into their area. And considering that some of them had never met any black people before, it was interesting that they said that they were fearful. How do you become fearful of a people that you've never met?
Yes.
Right, that's the interesting thing.
Yes.
Because we're not necessarily, if I haven't met anybody from China, I wouldn't necessarily be fearful of them. Right?
Yes.
So that's just a bigger story, which might be for another day.
Yeah.
So interestingly then, after university, didn't know what I wanted to do, and I went and I joined the police service. I probably said this in my the last time I spoke on here. And I joined the police service in the 1980s. In the 1980s, there were a lot of riots going on, and I was quite comfortable in myself. Otherwise, I'd have been very uncomfortable with some of the names that my community were calling me. They were saying, "You're a sellout. How come you joined the police?" And you know, there was a lot of that sort of talk there. But I knew what I wanted to do and why I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
So at that point, going on to where we are now, there was no Black History Month. There was no such thing as diversity.
No.
None of that stuff existed. And in the mid-1990s, that's when we first heard about the Black Police Association, which we joined, and it was all about actually increasing representation, getting people further and further up into the ranks, and inclusivity and all the things you talk about now as diversity.
Yeah.
And what's your question at the beginning?
No. I know it's okay. It's okay. I just wanted you to break it down for us, which you have. You are still in the right path.
Yes, good.
Jabo was talking about the presence.
Yes,
and I wanted to, we never know who's listening.
Yes.
It could be another kid who's probably didn't even know this Black History Month before.
Yes.
So I wanted to know, when exactly did Black History Month come in? Was it there before? Which you have done. You have answered the question.
So just to reinforce that.
Yeah.
As a school pupil in the 1960s, at secondary school, I knew very little about Black history, right? So if you know something now, we knew a lot less then. And nobody seemed to comment on it at that point. And actually, it actually formed or diminished in a way the importance of your own identity, right? And because I wasn't, not everybody had the luxury of being able to go back to the West Indies every year to learn more about your culture. So actually there was a cultural deprivation in my way. Until then, I moved. You go into the police, and then they start to talk about Black history like it's something important. But the point I'm making is that served us then. It was a positive thing that we started to learn about it. But I would say, where are we going to take it, and where is that going to go?
Yes, I think that's where we are coming in and to have this kind of conversation, Jabo. I mean, we've heard that the Black History Month didn't exist at all in Ian's upbringing, and here we are. Demographically as well, we are in the southwest, which is also deprived of diversity. There's a growth, but it's still not enough. Recently, we are acquiring. You mentioned a list of chefs there. If we really think about it, I'm sure the chefs are less than 10 years, 15 years tops existence. Well, Marita probably will hold the longest among the lists you gave there, so which is still growth in the city. Now, my question is now for the topic of today is where exactly where is it going? What's is it saving the purpose? Me and Ian were talking earlier on about Ian referenced it. He said it's been like 30 years now since he's been hearing the Black History Month. Organizations and after organizations have come. Some of them have died out. Some of them are still coming. But what's the end goal? What are we trying to achieve with the Black History Month? That's our topic.
Oh, brilliant. Well, it's good you bring that question, and that's what I'm excited about today, because as we said, this is where most of the revolution starts from. The talk.
Yes.
Between us asking us at this conversation. Because you'll hear people saying, do we need to have Black History only once a month? Why is my history only once a month? Or, why was it not being taught before? And now, we've been talking about it for 30 years. What has been the change? Is it becoming just a narrative, or is it doing its purpose? And then it comes to that conversation where I think we can explore it more with Ian, when we look at saying, why is that difference in the color? We focus on that difference of color, and then it's not in a positive narrative saying we're celebrating that color, but anything in the history, that color has been attached with darkness.
Yes. Yes, we'll come on to that differently,
Now we're talking about the Black history. We've been doing it for 30 years. Is it doing its purpose? The awareness has been done, and we're still creating that. And there are now awarenesses there knowing, yes, it's there. So we've had our genesis. Now we're in the second part of the purpose, so that we can develop a legacy. And here, as we're talking about the legacy, what is the legacy of this work we're doing? Or is it going to be another 30 years of just a talk?
Yes. It's true. Ian, come in. You're saying it's true. It's true here. What's Jabo saying to us then?
So in many organizations, they have these targets of getting to a point where they're representative of society. And it's difficult because as society keeps changing, the targets keep changing.
Yes.
So the question is, will we ever achieve those targets? And when we achieve that rainbow of difference that they're looking for, right, will all our problems go away? That's the key. Will the problems be gone when we achieve the rainbow of difference? And because you get people who can be very target orientated, sometimes they forget to think about the purpose, you see? And that's where I want to remind people, we want to remind people that actually these things have a purpose. It's not just about the target. So it was great as it began, and we've learnt a lot from it, and we've shared a lot, and and people are beginning to learn more about other cultures, etc., etc., etc. But for me, as we learn more, my thing is really about difference, and the fact that is the problem about difference, or is the problem about the way we have come to think about difference? Because when I'm looking at my colleague, do I think my colleague is a different colour, or do I think they are my colleague? You see?
Yeah.
But this agenda that seems to be pushed all the time is that we're so conscious of all these differences. And I don't think we are anymore. I think most people are used to living in a well, you know, if you live in a city, you're used to be surrounded by people of different cultures, and you're not always thinking about whether they're different cultures. You're just thinking about whether you get on with them, and whether they're people you know. You know, if you're black and your wife is from England, you don't wake up in the morning and think my wife is from England. You think she's your wife.
That's correct.
You see?
Yes.
So it's realizing that underneath the psyche, there is a thing about the way we look at difference. That makes sense? And that is creating a lot of issues. I don't go into what they are, but you'll understand that now. It creates a lot of issues. But it's only because we forget that once upon a time this world had no borders. And it was only with the borders that we develop an identity.
That's correct.
You see?
Yes.
And it's through this identification as an identity that, rather than with an identity, that we then create problems, because then we exaggerate our differences and we ignore our similarities. And by doing those things, that's how we go to war.
Yeah, that's correct.
You see, so that's where I think we've got to start to understand more about the fact that it's a problem of thinking rather than a problem of difference.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. What I'm hearing is the danger we are going through is continuing accentuating on this black history,
Yes.
and then it losing its purpose, and it becomes a reason of distraction.
Yes.
So how do we go about this? Because you have that question. Is it only October? Why only October?
Yes.
And why only this? Why only that?
Yes.
How do we continue celebrating our difference without getting to the element of being a distraction? But the other one I wanted as well to bring on, I'm just conscious of the time, because I think this topic we should bring in more often. And I love this place because we always come with innovative ideas.
Yes.
P-Town always brings something new, revolutionary.
Yes, yes, we do.
The element of that conversation, the darker you are,
Yes.
the lower class you are.
Yes.
The lighter you are, the higher class you are.
Yeah.
So are you saying
That's the genesis.
There's much problems?
Yeah. That's the invention. You see, that's an invention. We were having a conversation in the car earlier, and I remember I was in Antigua, and I probably wouldn't have noticed this before, but somebody said to me or described somebody as high colour, and they were talking about the skin colour was lighter. And then I go back to Jamaica, where in Jamaica there's a term they call black, and they say that people are darker are black, and obviously people are lighter are better, because so we're not immune from this thing called racism. We think we can't keep pointing to, and there's other people that have caste systems, and all these systems are there dividing us, and then we're pointing the finger at other people, but it's something that's built in that divides us all. And actually, does it really make any sense? Because all we're doing is we're attaching meaning and value to difference, or we can add value, or we can take value away on the basis that we see something different.
Jabo, just to go back to what you just said, we're talking this earlier about how kids are born in UK.
Yeah.
My junior,
Yeah.
my young boy, or Brianna, what end of the two, they're all born here. As they grow up in nursery, do they understand racism as they grow up? Do they know black and white? Do you think if they refer their friends at nursery as my white friend, and then the white kids at nursery referred to like at home. I was playing with Junior, my black friend. Do you think in that age they do that?
Yeah.
No, I think we all agree. The whole table it's a no.
Yes.
So we're talking about they.
Yes.
Because we do reference a lot about they.
Yes.
And I said to him, who is they?
Yes. Yes.
So do we believe our kids are being reached by they at a certain age of their production, of their upbringing?
So my view is that we don't arrive in the world with some of these concepts used in the way that we come to use them now, that create problems where we eventually go to war. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But there's a point in time when people start to learn them, and I think they learn them partly from their parents, but also it's reinforced by their education. But remember that the parents were also educated. So when I made the point earlier about the people in Birmingham, the white people in Birmingham being fearful,
Yes.
where did they learn it? You see? So it's just information that's passed on that creates the way that people think, which is what culture is, isn't
Yes,
it? Culture is
that's
just the
culture
same
is just the same.
information that's passed on that creates the way that people
Yes.
think. But we're not wise enough to realise that it also creates our vulnerability until today. With everybody who's listening, who realises that it's just information and the way we interpret it that creates our vulnerability. But going back to the point you made about the kids, they don't know it. You know, my friend's Indian name is my friend Indian's name. They learn to pronounce it. They don't have to make an apology for not pronouncing it right. That's all the stuff that we do. When we get, that's my friend's name. He tells him his name and he'll talk his name. He doesn't
That's
like,
right.
you know. And so for me, we have to unlearn some of the things that we've learned in order to get back to the place of parity that's going to be advantageous for all of us as a people. You with me? We've got to unlearn some of this stuff, because you know as well as I do, you know, you hear about people having differences in different African countries and this, that, the other, and it doesn't make any sense in reality.
No.
If those kids can live together, right, and they're supposed to be the ones that are learning from us,
Yes.
then something's going wrong if they can live together.
Yes.
You know, so
So what's your thought on this? We're just talking about they.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
Yes, it's the legacy. So that's what I'm saying. It's really crucial, this conversation we're having here.
Yeah.
Because we are changing, and we are kind of like emphasizing the purpose of celebrating Black history. We don't want to be celebrating it or talking about or creating environment which is going to be detrimental on the long run, where it's going to start more focusing on that difference instead of what we have in common.
yes,
If we're not careful, we're going to be saying this, we're different. So this is a Black history, it's only for Black people.
yes,
Sorry?
This is a Black history and it's only for Black people.
yes,
We're focusing on what is the difference, but we're
Yes.
forgetting what we have in common.
yes,
So this is where we say we're changing the narrative. The purpose of the celebration of Black history, you have to be more of demonstrating what is it we have
yes,
in common.
yes,
What are our common purpose
yes,
compare or differentiate from what is different we
Yes.
have?
Yes.
Because those diversity will always have them. Diversity is not in the power of the difference. Diversity is in the power of what we have in
Yes.
togetherness.
and just to add to that, can I just add to that?
Yeah, please do.
Now that we know a little bit more about our history, because remember, I started at a point where I knew very little. We also have to remember that this word black is being used as if we've all got a common history, and it's denying that we all came from many great civilizations. Does that make sense? And we know more about that now. And for me, that's what we should now be talking in schools. It's not that there's just one black history, that there was many civilizations that are contributing to this word that they now call black, and that word didn't actually exist, and our forefathers many years ago would probably not identify with it, and nor would they identify with white.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, because none of these, if you are putting color into it, are either black or white.
It's a con. It's a con.
I was commenting on Jabo. Jabo's English is getting better every time. I think it's got an EM effect coming in there, and yes. So to be progressive, let's be progressive is a conversation. I know Jabo is way of time. I mean, we can probably carry on do a second part of this conversation, so that we can digest it a bit more. So we are talking about where is it going? I know, yes, we're celebrating every month. October 2024 will come again, and 25, 26, whatever, and so forth and so forth. We have more organizations coming up and say, they're coming from a different angle of promoting the same thing. Before even you come in a city, in a picture in terms of TBI and Plymouth Hope and all the organizations from Plymouth that are trying to promote diversity. I want to know, how do we get young people to learn the right way? Because if we are agreeing that on this table, none of these youngsters are born understanding white and black. So which means there is they that are now teaching them, and then it grows up. So how do we now, as adults, I know probably when I say start with this kind of conversation, but I want it tangible, something that is we take away from this. But I don't want it today. I'll see you guys next week again.
You just cheat.
It's been pleasure to have Jabo and Ian in the studio here talking about Black History Month. We are back here next week on a Friday at time of noon. We'll try to be on passion, being on time. This is interesting. We're talking about the future of Black History Month. We're talking about what is it that we're trying to achieve. All these organizations that talk about inclusivity. I'm sure right now, since probably Black Lives Matter movement, we're hearing things like every organization must have at least a black representative. So many people have now got a black officer in their ranks or organization, or a black member, so that to make the calendar or make the brochure looks good. Is that enough? Is that what we are saying is enough? What can we do to change the narrative of young people who are growing up in this world where they are being taught by theirs about being black and being white, which I think is really, really bigger problem than ourselves. Gentlemen, thank you very much. Jabo, your last words.
It's not late. It's getting late.
Yes.
Get on board.
Yes.
Let's make a change.
Thank you
Let's
very
create
much.
a change.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Give us your last words on this show, please. Thank you.
It's been a great show. I hope everybody's learned a lot, and there's more to learn.
Yes. Thank you very much, and good weekend, and stay blessed. And now, Butera Business Talk. We're here back next week at the time of 12.